5 seconds. Start. Earth is a marine planet. 97% of our planet's water is in oceans that cover 71% of Earth's surface. Marine animals of all kinds have evolved to fill and take advantage of the vast ecosystems the oceans provide. Teeny zooplankton to huge sharks and mammals such as whales are all marine animals, and so are many kinds of birds. Seabirds are marine birds. They are birds adapted to life at sea, living and feeding in an ocean environment. Compared to songbirds and other land-based birds, seabirds live longer and take more time to reach breeding age. As an example, Laysan albatrosses can live 50 years or more and are not mature adults until age 5 or sometimes much later. Most seabirds nest and raise young in colonies on small islands surrounded by ocean or on shoreline cliffs. Summer months living in breeding colonies are often the only months some seabirds came to land. Seabird pairs have fewer young than land birds, usually just a single clutch a year, while many seabirds lay a single egg. That lone hatchling is taken care of for a long time. A guillemot chick, for example, fledges and leaves the colony with its father, staying with him for its first several months at sea. Settling between summer breeding colonies and winter feeding ground often means undertaking long yearly migrations. Arctic terns have one of the longest migrations of any animal on Earth, flying as much as 55,000 miles a year. That is the equivalent of flying between New York and Los Angeles 15 times. Some seabirds are adapted to lives spent hundreds of miles from land. Albatrosses and kittiwakes may fly for weeks or even months without landing, sleeping and feeding on the wing while over the ocean. Seabirds can drink seawater, sleep floating on water, or even fly while and feed from the ocean. Many marine birds are able to live without fresh water thanks to salt exerting glands. Some seabirds like petrels and kittiwakes feed on squid, crustaceans and other macroplankton, as well as small fish near the surface. Gannets and pelicans plunge down deep into water to catch larger fish. Other seabirds, such as cormorants and guillemots, essentially fly underwater, pumping their wings as they pursue prey beneath the surface. Eider and other sea ducks feed on what is living underwater on rocks, including clams, snails, and other mollusks, as well as aquatic plants. In general, taxonomy does not define a seabird as much as it is adaptation to living at sea and feeding in ocean waters. Most have robinto crow-sized bodies, but some can be as large as a goose and have a wingspan of 6 feet. The wings attached to those bodies vary greatly in length and shape. Soaring seabirds such as freebirds and albatrosses have long, thin wings, while underwater swimmers like puffins and penguins have stotter paddle-like wings. With a few exemptions, Seabirds have a plumage of densely packed waterproof feathers over an insulating layer of down. Puffins, penguins, and other seabirds that dwell in cold ocean waters also have an insulating layer of fat. This combination of feathers and fat keeps seabird dry and warm. Most seabirds have webbed feet for surface paddling and or steering while diving and swimming underwater. Seabirds generally are not as colorful as land birds. Most are mixture of white, gray and black with some color on their legs and bills. The white underside of many seabirds hides them from prey below, and grayish bodies camouflage well with sea and sky. Ocean animals, including seabirds, pose unique challenges for conservationists. Many migrate and travel across state and national borders, crossing international waterway boundaries and moving from one ocean to another within a year. While many nesting and colony areas are safeguarded, whose responsibility is it to protect seabirds when they are in open waters? When seabirds die from eating plastic trash, fishing line, or get accidentally caught in fishing gear, whose fault is it? The short answer is all of us. Overfishing, oil spills from tankers and offshore rigs, water pollution and ocean trash, development on nesting sites, and the effects of climate change like melting sea ice and sea level rise all create problems for seabirds in Florida. Toxins from an unusually widespread and long-lasting red tide, a naturally occurring algae carrying brevis, have severely impacted seabirds and other Gulf of Mexico and increasing the intensity and duration of algae blooms. Nearly 100 species of marine birds are in trouble, making seabirds the most threatened group of birds on the planet. The ability to drink seawater is a crucial adaptation for birds that spend months away from land. How do seabirds do it? The key is a pair of salt removing glands above their eyes. When a seabird drinks ocean water, the salt is absorbed into the bird's bloodstream. As blood circulates around the body, it passes through the special glands where salt is filtered out and then exerted. A concentrated salty liquid comes out of the seabird's nostrils and flows down grooves in its bill. Albatrosses, gulls, puffins, loons, and penguins have especially big bill grooves for draining exerted salt. Alaska is seabird central. Some 75 million murres, murrelets, albatrosses, fulmars, gulls, terns, kittiwakes, jaegers, storm, petrels, seawaters, auklets, and guillemots can be found in Alaskan waters. Alaska is where 85% or more of all US breeding seabirds makes nests and raise young. Protecting seabirds is a big part of Alaska's Important Bird Area program. IBAs are sites around the world that provide essential habitat for one or more bird species. IBAs can be just a few acres of urban park where migrating songbirds stoop over, or hundreds of square miles of open ocean where seabirds feed. Outbound Alaska has been working with International Bird Group since 2000 to identify marine coastal and land areas essential to birds. Alaska now has 210 IBAs with plans for more.